Since the Welcome Resource Center opened its doors 6 years ago, it has registered about 400 participants. This drop-in center can get very busy as it caters to some of the most vulnerable groups. The center is a gathering place for the homeless, the mentally ill, the elderly, and deportees. It was the brainchild of the Mental Health Association to build a center to cater to the mentally ill and homeless.
Besides medication, the mentally challenged also needed social support. So that's what the resource center provides, that social support for the population that I serve.
Joyce Ellis is the administrator for the center. She explains how the mentally ill become homeless.
Substance abuse is also a form of mental illness. So of this population, we have, like, we'll say they are dual. Yes, they are mentally ill, but they also use the drugs to self-medicate, which in itself causes even more complication, especially the alcohol. Sometimes, one, compliance with medication. Two, families don't know how to deal with a person who suffers mental illness. And another thing that causes them to become homeless is because they have no jobs.
Kirk Simpson has been coming to the center since it opened. He's lived on the streets for many years. He says about 5 to 10 years.
I used to sit on the Belcan Bridge and watch Brad Shop. I used to work with the public work department. Then I used to work with city council first, then I got into public work. But they are all shut down now, and I have no more jobs again to fix the streets.
Meanwhile, for 18-year-old Winston Gabriel, after graduating from Stella Maris School in 2018, he'd hoped and tried to find a job.
I tried everywhere. I followed from the city council and none of them hired me.
While Kirk is homeless, Winston is not. The teenager started dropping in at the center earlier this year. How often you come here?
Every day.
And why you come here?
Because sometimes I got nothing to eat and I don't have a job like that. Why I like to come here because no nice, it's peaceful and no trouble.
Then treat us good, and Jesus is like when the palm man used to tell us what we do when I'm young, and tell us to keep yourself clean, scrub your tennis, wash your shoes, clean your clothes and things like that.
Kirk does stay at a night shelter and utilizes the Welcome Resource Center during the weekdays.
Initially, when we opened, we started with only lunch. Now we are at breakfast, lunch, and on Fridays we would give a to-go package for the weekend. So we have that on Friday. Now at night, these participants will have to make their way over to wherever they go to spend the night. We have like one or two who would be at the Raymond Park shelter, but for the most part, others are outdoors. Over the last 6 years that I am here, the nights for me hasn't been very much restful, because especially if I start to hear rain and things like that, the another morning the staff would be here extra early to make sure that they're, could be in somewhere warm, get out of the wet soil clothes and things like that.
The center relies primarily on fundraising to keep its doors open. It does receive a subvention from the Ministry of Human Development and part of the staff's salaries from the Ministry of Health.
Our unmet cost right now is $6,500. So every month we have to find that $6,000.
And so for the second year, Ellis and her team have planned the Sleep It Out event, an event where the public can pay to spend the night outdoors and experience just a bit what it feels like to be homeless.
When you think about safety, the usage of bathrooms, and the idea that you could just get up and, if you feel like drinking some water, go into your fridge, drink some juice, maybe make some coffee, turn on your television. These people don't have these amenities. And they just sleep wherever, sometimes wherever night would take them, they sleep. What I hope for it to change in people is that when you see a homeless person, do not say he or she wants to be there. Sometimes it's not by choice, and we don't know the circumstances of the individual.